in 6 children will face hunger.
21% of children in at-risk households may be forced to rely exclusively on charitable organizations such as Feeding America.
Only 8% of people aged before SNAP receive benefits.
Feeding America reports that 84% of assisted households admit to buying the cheapest food available to simply have enough.
5 out of 6 kids will not have a free lunch program for summer.
A family of 4 will need an additional 36 meals a month to combat poverty.
13 million children in the U.S. live in food-insecure homes.
For a child in America who lives in a food-insecure household, their fridge does not have fruits and vegetables and nutritious ingredients. There are no leftovers from the past week's dinners. The only thing a hungry child in America can expect is low-cost food of convenience, and possibly not even that.
This is the first of the 3 perspectives, conflicts between the haves and the have-nots, the struggle between a 30-pack of ramen.
Man, there's nothing to eat but mayonnaise again.
This is another example of one of the 3 perspectives. This is interaction. This is a possible example of what a hungry child could experience every day after coming home from school.
I'm hungry.
This is our last perspective, function. According to the USDA, approximately 1 pound of food is thrown away by the American people every day. That equates to 150,000 tons of food that could be easily donated to those who need it. Such a shame.
Child hunger could fall under both a public issue and a private trouble. It is a private trouble because if a child does not have access to proper meals, their grades and overall well-being suffers as well. Children affected by hunger may have problems developing in important areas. Studies show that children from homes that lack consistent access to food are more likely to experience developmental impairments in areas like language, motor skills, and behavior. They also risk falling behind their fellow classmates and may lack in certain subjects. It is also a public issue because families and teachers will worry about the children who are not performing to their full potential. State standardized test scores could also go down, and since the children are so focused on trying to find their next meal, this can prevent them from excelling in school and having productive lives, which then can possibly lead them into poverty.
Hi, Mrs. Lunch Lady.
Hi, enjoy your meal.
Thank you. Man, I love school food.
Hi, Lunch Lady. Hi, sorry we're closed. Summer school is out.
I hate summer. I won't eat all summer.
Globalization is a factor in this issue because child hunger does affect different countries throughout the world. Children having proper access to food is important everywhere and can have the same negative results as we have here in the United States. Therefore, Global organizations such as the United Nations is drawing attention to this issue. A specialized agency within the United Nations called the Food and Agriculture Organization is calling attention to the long-term effects of the absence of satisfactory nourishment.
Reporting from a newly opened food bank in the Greater Toronto area, the use of food banks is increasing because of the housing costs eating up a growing proportion of family income, making it harder for families to provide food.
Two 2,500,000 Haitians live in extreme poverty. Although agriculture is important, over 100,000 children under 5 suffer from malnutrition, while 1/3 is underweight because they fail to produce enough food due to the lack of rain.
Okay. Europe's richest country has seen a rise in the risk of poverty within recent years. It rose from about 12% in 1995 to roughly 16% in 2014. As a result of this, more German citizens are finding themselves not gaining enough income to feed themselves or their families. Now there's heavy reliance on food banks and government welfare. In Berlin, almost 1 in 3 children live in homes dependent on basic social welfare. And even with assistance, it may not be enough for some, and some children are still dealing with their personal hunger pains.
Here in Bangladesh, I'm reporting with the Hunger Project. 156 million people, which is half of the U.S. population, in a country the size of Illinois, live in poverty. 32% of the population live below the poverty line, mostly women and children. The Hunger Project also reports that 33% of children under 5 are malnourished, which is one of the highest populations in the world.
Let's quickly revisit the definition of sociology, which is the macro and systematic study of humans and society and the consequence of difference. And those differences are:
Hunger is directly linked to poverty. It's an endless cycle.
They have to struggle and compete with people that have more than others.
and each day brings new challenges. American society is wasteful and turns a blind eye to hunger in its own backyard, making it not only a private trouble, but a public issue.
Hungry kids don't perform as well in school.
They don't have as many opportunities.
It's hard for them to connect with others. Hungry children have strained relationships with family members.
Their peers look down on them and belittle them, so they have difficulties making friends.
They are ashamed for using government assistance.
Every country across the globe is dealing with its own difficulties feeding its citizens, and America is no different.
By reducing your food waste
And donating to your local food bank.
give to charities such as Feed America,
And supporting No Kid Hungry's summer lunch programs.
Every American can help give a hungry child a brighter and fuller future.